Welcome to our video on how the ancient Egyptians used simple tools to transform rocks in the mountains into magnificent architectural buildings that amazed the whole world. The ancient Egyptians were renowned for their incredible architectural achievements, which continue to inspire awe and wonder to this day. Despite the limitations of their tools and technology, they were able to create some of the most remarkable structures in the world. Before we start, if you are interested in our content, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. In this video, we will explore the techniques and tools used by the ancient Egyptians to transform rocks in the mountains into magnificent architectural buildings. From the quarrying of the stone to the construction of the buildings, we will delve into the fascinating world of ancient Egyptian architecture. 1. The quarrying of the stone. The first step in the construction of an ancient Egyptian building was the quarrying of the stone. The ancient Egyptians used a variety of tools to extract the stone from the mountains, including chisels, hammers, and copper saws. 2. The transportation of the stone. Once the stone had been quarried, it had to be transported to the construction site. The ancient Egyptians used sledges and ramps to move the massive blocks of stone across the desert. 3. The shaping of the stone. Once the stone had been transported to the construction site, it had to be shaped into the desired form. The ancient Egyptians used chisels and hammers to shape the stone, and they were able to achieve remarkable precision with these simple tools. 4. The joining of the stone. The ancient Egyptians used a variety of techniques to join the stone blocks together. They used a system of interlocking joints and dowels to ensure that the blocks were securely held in place. 5. The use of mortar. The ancient Egyptians did not use mortar in their construction, relying instead on the precise fitting of the stone blocks. This technique allowed the buildings to withstand the test of time and remain standing for thousands of years. 6. The use of ramp technology. The ancient Egyptians used ramps to transport the massive stone blocks to the construction site. These ramps were built at a gradual incline and allowed the workers to move the blocks up and down the ramp with relative ease. 7. The use of levers. The ancient Egyptians used levers to lift and move the massive stone blocks. By placing a long beam on a fulcrum, they were able to use the lever to lift the blocks and move them into position. 8. The use of pulleys. The ancient Egyptians also used pulleys to lift and move the stone blocks. By attaching a rope to the block and running it through a system of pulleys, they were able to lift the blocks with ease. 9. The use of water. The ancient Egyptians used water to help them in their construction. They would wet the sand to make it easier to transport the stone blocks, and they would also use water to cool the copper saws used to cut the stone. 10. The use of surveying. The ancient Egyptians were skilled surveyors and used a system of geometry to ensure that their buildings were perfectly aligned. They would use simple tools such as plumb bobs and string to ensure that the buildings were straight and level. 11. The use of sundials. The ancient Egyptians also used sundials to help them in their construction. These instruments allowed them to determine the time of day and the position of the sun, which was important for ensuring that their buildings were properly aligned. 12. The use of mathematics. The ancient Egyptians were skilled mathematicians and used a variety of mathematical techniques in their construction. They would use simple calculations to determine the size and shape of the stone blocks, and they would also use geometry to ensure that their buildings were perfectly aligned. 13. The use of symbolism. The ancient Egyptians used symbolism in their architecture to convey a variety of meanings. They would use hieroglyphics, reliefs, and sculptures to depict gods, pharaohs, and other important figures. 14. The use of color. The ancient Egyptians also used color in their architecture. They would paint their buildings in bright colors and use colorful tiles to create intricate patterns and designs. 15. The use of light. The ancient Egyptians were also skilled in the use of light. They would design their buildings to allow light to enter at specific times of day, creating dramatic effects and highlighting important features. 16. The legacy of ancient Egyptian architecture. The legacy of ancient Egyptian architecture is still visible today in the many remarkable buildings and structures that have survived the test of time. From the Great Pyramid of Giza to the Temple of Karnak, these buildings continue to inspire wonder and amazement. The ancient Egyptians were able to achieve remarkable feats of architecture using simple tools and techniques. Their buildings continue to amaze and inspire people to this day, and their legacy is a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of humanity. As we continue to study and explore ancient Egyptian architecture, we can only hope to uncover more of its secrets and unlock the mysteries of the past. We challenge ourselves to reach 500 subscribers, so do not forget to support us with a like and subscribe to the channel, to encourage us to publish more, God willing.